Hello, and welcome back to another great episode of hashtag Screw the W2. And my guest today is, an individual and fellow investor that I networked with, have actually invested with on a couple of projects through some of his syndications, bought a property from, and we're both podcasters as well. So with that, Alpesh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, John, for having me, and thank you for the introduction. Right, we have known each other for quite a while now and have done a lot of business together.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, maybe for those listening, maybe that haven't heard of Alpesh or your company and website Wealth Matters, can you kind of take us back in time? What was your previous W-2 job, and what was like an average day like for you?
Absolutely. So actually, I have not done W-2 since 2009.
Okay.
My previous W-2 was with a big four accounting firm, consulting firm. So I was a consultant and
Okay.
I was mostly on the road. So it
Gotcha.
was not even 9 to 5. And then I first work 9 to 5. It's usually 8 to 8,
More
right?
like a 5 to 9.
Mine was even worse because I would get on the road. I would get on the flight on Sunday because I will have to be at the client site on Monday morning and then I'll fly out on Thursday late afternoon. So
Oof.
it was pretty busy week, and then Friday is when I'm catching up on a lot of the other stuff. So
Yeah.
it was rough, but blessing in disguise. I got fired in 2009 during the
Okay.
downturn.
I think you're the second person I've had on this show that actually got let go, and in hindsight, almost kind of turned to be a blessing in disguise. And
Yeah,
like you said, just the grind of the hours or toxic work environment or all the above.
yep, yeah.
So, but now, was there obviously your story is a little bit different, but was there any moment in there or any time that you can recall, prior to 2009, like a I got to get out of here moment. I need to whatever spend more time with my family. I need to be on the road less, or anything that kind of crossed your mind at one point.
So not at that time, but after from 2009, I started my own IT consulting business because I
Okay,
just wanted to continue in that business. So even though I was not W-2, but I was self-employed, I was my
sure,
own boss. So I was able to decide some of my time, but I was still traveling a little bit and keeping myself busy. So back in 2015 is when I was like, you know what? I need to start something else which
Mm,
generates income while I sleep, where I
sure,
actually don't have to work, which
right,
I, of course, I have to put in some work, but I want to continue to have that passive or multiple streams of income.
right,
So that
yeah.
was in 2015, and that is when I started literally investing in real estate.
Okay, sounds good. I think you and I mean, we've have similar podcasts, and we've chatted numerous times, and we've invested in similar projects from cryptocurrencies to May Invest, a couple others that I think we've had mutual experiences with.
Yep.
So that's right. Now, when you had that moment, obviously you had the 2009 that you left your W-2, but then 2015 when, I need to, start looking for some passive income, or I need to, have some multiple streams of income coming in. What were your next steps that you took to build up those streams?
That's a great question. So I took a lot of steps actually, and
Okay.
and I took a long winded road. I wish none of us would go through it, or at least your listeners. That in 2015 I was making pretty good money from my IT business. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, this is when I need to start. So I actually started investing in. Of course, I was already investing in stocks, but now I went into options.
Yep.
Lot of the risky strategies like forex and futures, and I started playing with all that. While I
Okay.
also invested in real estate, and I also started investing in startups and gold and all of that, trying to just figure out.
You name it, you invested in
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I was just trying to figure out what would make sense for me, and I'm one of those guys. Um, where I want to try it out right away.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit adventurous, and just want to see instead of a lot of people are the other way around where they listen to your podcast or my podcast, go on biggerpockets.com and take couple of years to even start looking at one property, right? And then maybe at least 5 years before they take action. Whereas I take action and then I try to figure out if it worked for me or not, which is
Sure.
also not good. Or they people call it as shiny object syndrome.
Yep,
But
in there too.
that's how I started. So 2015 and 16 were very busy years for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think there's an old, I can't remember who said it, but it was something to the effect of an employee goes ready, ready, aim, fire, and an
Yes.
entrepreneur goes ready, fire, then aim.
Firing. Yep. Yep. That's exactly how I was, and I still I am.
Yeah. So now from that point, obviously you became self-employed, started your IT consulting business, started going, I'll just call it down the rabbit hole like I did as far as investments, passive income, etc. How long did it take you to get maybe even to a point where, you know, maybe your passive income exceeded your expenses, or maybe the passive income just took up a good chunk of your everyday expenses?
I would say it took me, so 2015 and 16, I was just trying to figure out. 2017 is when I realized real estate is what I really want to do and continue.
Gotcha.
I can I can throw money in crypto and other stuff, even stocks here and there, but real estate is going to be the biggest part of my portfolio and actually
Sure.
my life moving forward. So 2017 was that is when I had that aha moment, right? So I would say it took me about 5 years where my expenses are covered by my passive income right now, and I still do some IT consulting, but very little because most of my focus is on, of course, as you know, cryptocurrency mining, Bitcoin mining, and a
Hmm.
lot of my real estate projects from mobile home parks to senior housing and actually retail shopping centers as well right now.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. So yeah, you're actually involved in a few more projects than I am. I just kind of like the residential real estate, and I've ventured into short-term rentals, and that's about the extent of my portfolio at this point. So,
Yeah, no, and I'm also in short-term rentals right now.
okay, cool. So where are yours at?
So yeah, we launched a large fund right now where we are buying all over pretty much, I would say, the touristy town as
Okay.
well as secondary markets. So I'm partnering with an operator, and we have about 81 properties right now all
Oh,
over
nice.
US. Yeah, so the idea is to just scale up and grow fast. So we have the entire vertically integrated business now. So, you name it, from contractors to designers, architects to property management arm. So that way you are able to control, end to end operations.
Sure. Not have, well, the property manager is this guy and the operations is this company, and before
Right.
you know it, the whole thing implodes.
Exactly. Yeah. The cleaners, all that. Right.
Right. So now, obviously, your journey, well, everyone's journey is a little bit different, but yours kind of went from 2009, and then your aha moment later after 2015. But was there like I don't know, maybe like a freedom day that sticks in your mind of like, wow, I don't have to work 40 hours at this IT consulting or anything like that?
That's a good question. Actually, 2018 is when I just decided I just want to do this full time.
Okay.
And I can't remember the day, but it was most probably uh, I because we bought in 2017 we bought a 9 unit apartment building, a small
Okay.
one, and then another 9 unit I bought on my own in December of 2017 in
Okay.
Birmingham, Alabama, and I still own that. So that is why, in 2018, as soon as it started, I bought a couple more properties and I realized, okay, this is it. I
Sure.
think I can do this full time. This is where I want to go, and this is going to help me, achieve all my financial goals.
Right. Well, then you're not, not in a position where a boss can lay you off. You have multiple streams
Right,
of diverse income. So if, whatever that property, say in Birmingham or wherever, maybe that has a vacancy, well, you still have all the other investments that can kind of fill in the gap.
exactly.
So,
I can now lay off my boss.
There you go. So any looking back, I mean, obviously 2009, is approaching 14 years ago, but any regrets or anything you miss from the W-2 lifestyle versus the, shall we say, the 1099 or investing in real estate lifestyle?
The only thing I miss is sitting next to some colleagues and having, chit chat, right?
Okay.
Means now everything's, other than that, I have not missed anything.
Gotcha. So kind of a common answer I've had on this show. There's been some regrets and others it's like, nope, not a thing, and
Yeah.
some in the middle. So, on the flip side, Alpesh, since, and let's just say from 2015, when you kind of started learning about investments, what's been the best part of your journey as an entrepreneur and an investor?
To tell you the truth, thinking about from where I come from, teaching everyone else like what I do, and
Mm,
and pretty much, from your podcast or my podcast, giving everything away, right? Means without any selfishness, right? So that's one of the things I enjoy, talking to people, talking to investors and friends and whomsoever. I always ask people to reach out to me and see if I can help in any way, right? So that's the best thing ever.
sure. Yeah, it's the same as me, connecting with like-minded people versus, I know around here, everyone's like, hey, what are you doing for the Super Bowl? And it's like, oh, that's this weekend? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So now for anyone Outfish and maybe that's listening to this, and at the time of this recording, we've seen layoffs, from Meta,
Right.
Google, tech obviously is a pretty big one, but obviously other companies. But anyone out there that maybe, I don't know, has wanted to start their own business, become self-employed, start investing or whatever, but just feels maybe stuck in their 9 to 5 W-2 job, what maybe advice or words of encouragement would you give to them?
I would say get started, take action.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter, start small, start big, it doesn't matter. Don't think that your first deal or first investment or first business has to be a blockbuster, right?
Sure.
It just needs to work. So get started.
Yeah. Well, and I think kind of back to the ready, fire, then aim. I mean, you can always make adjustments. I remember one guy, finance guru, if you will, always said, imagine if you're going to work, what would happen if you waited till every single light on the path to work was green? Obviously, that would never happen. We have to go to green, go to stop, start again,
Yeah.
turn, whatnot. So, just get started and make corrections along the way. I kind of agree with that.
No, absolutely. And a lot of time we just get stuck, right, in that paralysis mode, right? So you got to get started. And
Hmm.
I always tell people, don't invest anything more than you can afford to lose, right?
Yep.
So if my first property was a disaster, the 2015, but I still bought again, right? Within
Yep.
3 months. Within 6 months, I again bought one more, thinking that if everyone else is saying real estate works, why can't I make it work, right?
Hmm.
And I continued to do that with even stocks and futures at that time, and then I gave up after a year on that, thinking once I realized that my time is more valuable, and real
Right.
estate is where I did not have to work every day. I didn't have to go through that emotional drain,
Yep.
right? So it just get started and invest. Start small. A lot of time you can buy properties for 100 grand and put 25 grand down, right? If not
Hmm.
that, if you then invest in a syndication, right, where you
Yep.
can put 25,000 at minimum and you can still learn, right? Because you
Hmm.
still want to perform due diligence on the operators and the property and the market, right? So just get started.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been a big proponent of that too. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't know if I should invest in real estate. Rates are going up and they're not as low as they used to be. I've always just looked at that. No company I've worked with for years, Ignite Funding. I just kind of turn this stuff around, like, okay, if rates are going up, and maybe I can just be the bank, and sure enough, I invest in trust deeds. $10,000 minimum payment. I'm making 10 to 12%. So I like
Nice.
that rates are going up when I'm in that position.
Exactly, right? Right. So that is the beauty of it, right? You have to see the light, right? You have to figure out what will work in this environment, right? If the rates are going up, be the bank, or make sure that the investment you are investing in cash flows still,
Yep.
even after, because right now we are being very conservative with all our
Right.
investments, but we are still investing. We have
Yep.
not stopped. You can't just stop and say, okay, this year I'm not gonna do anything. Like
Exactly.
you started looking at short-term rental, not investing, right? Because there is always something. Remember,
Hmm.
the billionaires, they are not just sitting, right? They are
Right.
still using their cash, they are still generating income.
Yeah, velocity of money at its finest. So, but
Exactly.
yeah. Well, as we close this out, Alpesh, and again, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on my show and educate my listeners. One day I'll come up with a really clever, snazzy marketing term for this, but for the moment, I call this the soapbox moment. But here we are in early 2023. Any new or expanding projects that you're getting involved in, excited about, or that you want to share?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, the short-term rental space
Okay.
is growing pretty fast, and I think it is going to go through the same things we saw in apartment buildings, right? Where multifamily owners were mom and pop owners, and then slowly syndicators, operators started taking over. Then the
Hmm.
institutions started taking over, and it's if you see now that is moving into the mobile home park space, but that is going to come to short-term rental sooner or later, and that's why we are taking this approach where we want to scale up from day one.
Mm.
Instead of trying to buy one or two properties, start buying a lot of this and put vertically integrated management solution around it. So that's one of the thing which is pretty exciting. But also on the retail front, I am looking at it that right now is a good time to get into retail, because the
Mm.
neighborhood shopping centers are here to stay, right? These are all service oriented. You can't cut your hair at home, but you can.
Well, you
But
can.
you can, right? Or the wives want to go to get their nails done, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of these services are not going away. Restaurants you want to enjoy, right? You want to
Hmm.
experience that. I don't like DoorDash unless I have to, right? So I want to go sit down and enjoy. So
Sure.
that I think the retail, even with layoffs and whatnot and recession, the retail market is here to stay. And you and I both need. We always want to support the neighborhood markets, right? Because that
Hmm.
is where we are going to go to, right? If that market disappears, then we have to drive 5-10 miles, right, away
Right.
from our home. So we want
Yeah,
to support that, market which is within, a couple of miles or 2 to 3 miles radius.
exactly. So yeah, and even like you said, obviously, nails done, but I just think of medical things. I mean, yeah, there's
Exactly, yeah.
teledoc out there, but if I need my teeth cleaned, I
It's
can't
not
do that by
same.
a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, like vaccination center.
Yeah.
You got to go there, right?
Yeah, I can't do that by a
Yeah.
Zoom.
Blood work, right? Blood work. A lot of things you can still do, yeah, but it's not same, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, as we close out, Alpesh, and obviously you have a lot of your resources up on the screen, but can you just mention to my viewers where they can find you, your podcast, your books, and learn about your upcoming projects?
Thank you, John. So my website is wealthmatters.com. It's spelled out as WEALTHMATRS.com. And my book is called Resilience: How to Turn Your Setback into a Comeback. It's available on Amazon. And definitely the podcast is also called Wealth Matters Podcast. So they can check that out as well. And thank you so much, John, for having me.
You bet. Thanks a lot, Alpesh. It was great to catch up.
Yeah, same here.